My topic for today is going to be about the gamification and e-learning and how they can help you to boost the engagement of the learners and their performance. Of course, in my presentation, we're going to be discussing this topic as part of our iSpring Days webinar. When it comes to this session, we're going to be talking about the gamification and how applying these types of games in your courses or in your trainings can definitely help you to increase the learners' engagement. And now I'm just going to be switching to the second slide, which is going to be, it's just going to be basically talking about the definition, the actual definition of the gamification in e-learning. So when it comes to the gamification and e-learning and how you can actually benefit from this, it's just more of applying, we can say elements, gamified elements that you can add to your courses or your presentations or trainings. These elements can basically help you in any kind of like in Arabic we call that any سياق تعليمي, like the e-learning or like a training that's happening. This is helping you to increase the engagement, the motivation of your employees or your trainees, and also their engagement with the training itself. So when it comes to iSpring solutions, there are two main products that can help you with the gamification. In your trainings. The two products that we're going to be talking about, the first one is going to be iSpring Suite, and the second one is going to be iSpring Learn LMS, right? So the first thing that we're going to be talking about is something within iSpring Suite, which is the iSpring quizzes or the iSpring Quiz Maker. And with the help of the iSpring Quiz Maker, you'll be able to create dynamic, engaging, and interactive quizzes and tests for your employees or for your trainees. This is going to be helping you to, it's going to be helping to attract the learners' attention, to make sure that they're not just like taking their quiz or their training and they're just like watching and they're not really doing much. They're just watching the training and that's it. You'll be able to attract their attention. You'll be able to grab their attention and have them interact with the quiz. You have 14 different types of questions that you're able to add and implement in your quizzes using the iSpring Quiz Maker. And there's also a very, very important option right here, which is the option of the branching. So the branching is going to be really helpful, and we're going to be talking about that in definitely more details when we get to the practical part. But the part of the branching is going to be really helpful in case one of our learners or one of our let's say the trainees, he didn't get the correct answer. We have the option to branch that and make that trainee or that learner simply go back to the previous slides and retake the quiz or retake the whole course in order to be able to take the quiz again and get the correct answers this time. So this is it's really important, and it gives the trainee another chance to get a better grade basically on that quiz. The next slide and the next thing that we're going to be talking about in terms of the gamification in iSpring Suite would be the iSpring role plays, or as sometimes it's called in the market or in the e-learning industry, it's called the role plays or the simulations. And this is also great for gamification because the simulations or the role plays, it's a way that can provide type of interactive learning that simulates like a real life scenario or something that our trainees or our learners are actually encountering or facing in real life. So it's a way that we can provide a safe environment for them to it's something that can provide them with a more of like a safe environment where they can make mistakes. These mistakes are not going to be having any negative effect on any actual business task that they're doing. So that's one of the main benefits of the simulations or the role plays. And they get to also engage with that. So they'll be seeing some sort of a dialogue, let's say between a trainer and a trainer or a sales expert or a sales trainer, and they get to engage with that person and they get to choose the relevant replies. And each reply can help us to see the consequence of their choice. So if we're just imagining this as a sales training as an example, we have our trainee or our learner, and that learner is engaging with, let's say, a client or somebody who's interested in buying a car or interested in buying one of our products. We need to teach them what are the correct responses or the responses that our company would like our trainees or learners to use. And we need also to show them the consequence of going with different replies. That can be something like losing the deal or making the client feel, let's say, frustrated or not really happy. And at this point, we stop and we correct them. We let them know that no, this is not really the best reply. It's not the most suitable reply in this case. And then we have them switch back again and show them what was the ideal response to that. The next topic that we can talk about is also something really interesting that you can do with the help of iSpring Suite, and it's called the interactions. The interactions can help us to add interactive elements like questions, exercises. We can say like voice recordings and things like that, like images, like a media catalog where we're asking our employee, or we can say the trainee or the learner, to click on different picture, and each picture would reveal a specific piece of information. We can have something like a timeline as shown here on the in the presentation, where the learner simply has to click on each part of these steps, like the first step to define your audience, to write a detailed script. He simply has to interact. He's not just like simply sitting and watching the presentation and just clicking on next, and that's it. We're asking the learner or the trainee to simply engage and interact. That's definitely something that we can do with the help of our interactions, which we're going to also see. We're going to also see when we get to the practical part of this. We have 14 different types of these interactions, the interaction templates. And we're going to get to that once we jump into the practical part of iSpring Suite, and we're going to see the details of the interactions. So the gamification, we've spoken that we've actually discussed how we can use it in iSpring Suite, but we can also use it in iSpring Learn LMS, our very own LMS, iSpring Learn. So we're still simply able to incorporate or implement gamification even in an LMS. So it's not just all about the course; it's also about the LMS itself. So when it comes to iSpring Learn, we have multiple ways that we can incorporate or integrate gamification. The first thing that we can do is add points. So simply when a learner or a trainee completes a learning module, or we can say completes a course, we can actually give them points. So he can get, like, let's say 2-3 points each time he completes a learning module. So if one course contains, let's say, 3 learning modules, that trainee or that learner can get 5-6 points. And these points would help us later, because we can also start giving badges to our trainees or learners based on the number of points that they have actually managed to collect. So if they collect, let's say, 20 points, they get to receive 1 badge. And if they manage to reach 50 points by completing many courses on the LMS and completing all the courses that they're enrolled in, they get to reach 50 points, and that gives them a second badge. And this would also help us in the next part, which is the part of the leaderboard. So they have their points, they have their badges. The next thing that they can actually see would be a leaderboard, and this is going to rank. It's going to be helping with the ranking of the ranking to motivate our learners and help them to compete with each other. So they get to see where do they actually rank within their team. They can be ranking the first or the second, and these rankings are simply based on the points that they have managed to collect and the badges that they have managed to get as well. And also, the badges does not necessarily have to be awarded only for points. Like, our learners can also get badges based on completing learning materials. So the leaderboard would help them just to compete and see how they're actually, where they stand among the other colleagues that they have, or the other trainees that we have within the same course, within the same training. The last part when it comes to the gamification in iSpring Learn LMS would be the user portal. So from the user portal, the our employees or our trainees can simply see all the achievements that they have in the system on their profile, how many points they have, the total badges, where they're standing again in the leaderboard, and they get also to see the certificates. There are actually a lot of other things that can help with when it comes to the part of the gamification, even aside from the things that we've already seen in this presentation. I'm just going to be getting to that, of course, when it comes to the practical part, which is the part that I really enjoy the most. And I think that that's the part that we can see now, considering that the user portal is just the last part of the gamification that we can do in iSpring Learn LMS.
Marwan, I'm sorry to interrupt you, buddy. Are you sharing your screen? Or you're just speaking?
No, I'm sharing my screen.
Could you do that again, please? Because we can't see that.
Okay.
Now we do. Now we do. Thanks.
So you weren't able to see everything from the beginning?
We were. Marwan.
Okay. Okay. Great. It's just making sure. Okay, so I'm just going to be actually sharing my screen now. I'm just going to be jumping to iSpring Suite. We're going to be checking out iSpring Suite in one of the courses that I have here. And Aladdin, also let me know, like if at any point the screen is not visible or anything, just let me know, okay?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, so now I guess that we can see the course that I have here, Mentoring in the Workplace, right? Aladdin, can you confirm that?
Yep.
Okay, amazing. So I'm just going to be taking this course as an example to how we're going to be simply applying the gamification in our course. This is a course that talks about the mentoring in the workplace. So the first thing that we can actually do, and iSpring Suite would be really helpful for that. First of all, we need to, of course, know that iSpring Suite is integrated within PowerPoint. So this means that simply anyone that has experience with using PowerPoint would easily know how to use iSpring Suite. So the first thing that we can do to make our course feel more lively, more engaging, and more visually appealing would be to add something like characters. We can actually add custom characters to our we can add characters to our course or to our training by just clicking on the characters right here from the iSpring content library. And the content library has two types of characters. They're actually actual photos. If you filter by photos, you see that these photos of actual people, actual human beings. And if you click on any of these pictures, you get to see different poses and different positions for each character. I think we have hundreds of pictures for each person or for each character that we can choose from the content library. Basically, this helps us because in most cases when we're designing a course, we would have to go and look on the internet and find these characters and just add them, and they're not really in high quality. They might have some water, like a watermark on them or something like that. So with the iSpring content library, that's definitely not the case. All that you just have to do is to filter. You want a photo of a man. The specific age can be, let's say, 25 to 40. The specific clothing, we can even filter by the actions. If we just click on talking, I can find people that are talking. I can just click on one of them.
I'm sorry, buddy, to interrupt you again. It seems that you're sharing only a part of the screen, so we can't see the characters.
You can see the content library. Let me share the whole screen instead, if that's the case. Just give me a second now. Okay, Aladdin, now the content library is visible, right?
Yep.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, I was basically talking about the filters. The filters are what we can see right here on the left side, that we can just apply these filters to give us more relevant characters to our course or our presentation. And we can just once we find a character that we like, we can just click on add to slide, and that character will be added right away. It's also really important to know that we have the option to customize our own characters. So if let's say I check out all the characters that we have in the iSpring content library and I still feel that no, I want something different, you can actually create your own character by clicking on custom character right here. You can click on create character, and then you'll be able to define everything that relates to that character. The appearance of the character, we can take this character right here. We can get different appearance relating to the industry or the type of course that we're having. We can go for this character as an example. We have the option to change the pose of the character and the skin tone and everything. If we can also specify his like the hair, the look of how his hair looks and the colors and the different elements, and also the closing, of course. Once we're done, we can just click on next and save the character, and the character will be saved and we can use it in any future courses. So that's the first part that I wanted to talk about, the part of the characters, whether it's the custom characters or the actual characters that are already made in the content library. There are also other things that we can utilize, like the slide templates, ready-made slide templates, the backgrounds, the objects, and the icons. But yeah, we can explore that at a later time just to give enough time to the rest of the gamification things that we need to talk about for now. So yeah, the next thing that I wanted to talk about would be how we can branch specific slides and specific quizzes. So let's say that by like simply I'm on this slide, and let's just imagine that this is a quiz, right? We already have a quiz right here, which is this one. So I need to specify what happens based on the result of that quiz. So based on the result of the quiz, should the trainee or the learner continue the course, or should we have him revert back and start again the whole course from the beginning? So if he didn't pass or he didn't succeed in the quiz, this is an indication for us that no, we need to have that person to get enrolled again and take the course from the beginning. So by just clicking on quiz and then going to branching, we simply can specify what happens on passing the quiz, proceed to the next slide, close the window, or go back to slide number 1 again. Or yeah, on pass, of course, we can just like close the window, and on fail, we can have them revert back to the first slide and retake the quiz again, or retake the whole course again. We can click on OK and then save and close. Okay, amazing. Next thing that we're going to be talking about would be the role plays or the simulations. And I have a great example for this, for the role plays or the simulations here. So, and like in some cases, you may prefer like to create a dialogue simulation in case, like especially if you use like a lot of branching, a dialogue simulation. It simply represents what we call like a tree structure. Also, it's similar to a flow chart. Let me show you that. Yeah, so this is what basically the tree chart, the tree structure looks like when we're designing a simulation. So this has several, we can say, possible scenarios, and I'll be showing you. We're going to be previewing that example now. So the tree structure itself of the dialogue simulation, it's going to help when we create this course. And to show you how this works is that we can just like simply create a new scene, and what we're actually writing down in the content here is going to be what this specific character is basically saying. So the character is saying, do you think only new employees need a mentor? And of course, at any point, we have the option to change the character and grab one of the characters that we have in the content library, can change the background picture if we like. And we can also control the emotions. So I can change the emotions on this character that I have here. And the replies that I have, these are the replies that I'm waiting for the learner to choose and pick from. So the question is, do you think only new employees need a mentor? And at this point, we would have 2 replies for our learner or trainee. Yes, sure, and no. And if you see that number 3 is taking us to this branch on the left, and number 2 is taking us to a completely different branch, which is the branch on the right. And if we actually preview that, let's preview that from the beginning.
Do you think only new employees need a mentor?
It's important to note here that what you can hear right now is the AI text-to-speech in iSpring Suite. The AI text-to-speech can definitely help us to it would help when we have a course. It's even better that we can hear that course instead of just having to read the course. It would give us like a more of a live feeling. It makes the course feel like it's an actual simulation or an actual dialogue that's happening, because even the answers can be heard as well. So of course, once we interact with this, let's see what happens. If they click on the first reply, which is, the second reply, which is no.
That's right. Specialists who are moving to a new position within the company also need a mentor.
So at this point, we're presenting them a message just to acknowledge that, yeah, what this answer is the correct answer. This is what we were expecting.
Do you think only new employees need a mentor?
But if they would have got, if they were to choose the first answer instead, or the first reply.
Not really. Specialists who are moving to a new position within the company also need a mentor. For example, an employee who will soon become a supervisor also needs a mentor.
Yes, so basically that's the meaning of the branching scenario. And you see that by just clicking on the second branch or the third branch, this would lead to a whole new scenario that's happening. And the simulations or the role plays, they don't just have to be this short. You can basically create very, very long simulations, and they can help even if you're designing courses, let's say for a sales training, the dialogue or the engagement between the learner and the client. You can simulate the whole dialogue. If you have like a sales script, you can actually create the whole sales script using something like the simulations or the role plays right here. You also have the option to add the voiceovers and the text-to-speech, just like we've mentioned. I can just click on any of them and add the text-to-speech by just clicking here. I can just simply specify the voice and the language. We have support for many, many different languages. And of course, we have support for Arabic language. You just need to type in the text in Arabic, and it will be automatically converted to spoken words. The preview would be something like this.
مرحبا، اسمي إدوارد. يمكنني بسهولة تحويل النص الخاص بك إلى كلام.
So this is what it sounds like even in Arabic, and you of course can choose different voices for that as well. We can just switch back to English and click insert, and that's it. This means that we've just inserted the text-to-speech for the first reply, and that can be heard by the learner or the trainee as well. Let me just close that now. And there's also something really interesting about the simulations or the role plays, which is the part of controlling the emotions of the character. So based on the replies or the replies or the answers that the learner is basically choosing, these replies and these answers can lead to can make the character that we have right here. You see that the character is normal in this case, like the character is simply normal. But let's say that they go for this branch and they choose, like, let's say reply number 2 or reply number 3. I can change the emotions of that character. I can make that character become angry, and this is an indication, and this is something that can show the learner that that's the effect of the choices and the replies that you've chosen on the character that we have. And that's basically it when it comes to the simulations or the role plays. The next thing that we want to talk about would be the quizzes. So with iSpring Suite, you will be able to create quizzes. We have 14 different types of 14 question types that you're able to add to your course, ranging from multiple choice questions, multiple response, drag and drop, fill in the blanks. And when you're designing your quiz or your course, you have an option first to add something. It's known as a custom field, or we can call it like a user form, where the user is supposed to be adding his own details, like his name, his email, but that's not mandatory. Of course, if we make that mandatory, the user has to insert his name in that field. And these variables that we have right here, we will be using them later in our course to make this appear to be like a more personalized experience for our user or for our employee. So this is the first slide that simply shows, this is what we call an intro slide, or like a user form slide, where the user just needs to enter his name. And on the next slide, we're going to be filling that name. We're going to be taking that name that he already inserted in the first slide, and we're going to populate this part of it with the name of the learner or our trainee. Let's try that. So if we click on preview quiz, the document is just being published. And you see that right here, I'm just going to be entering my name. And once I click on start quiz, the next slide is going to already have my name. So this is going to help us to have give the learner or the trainee a more of an personalized experience to the course, because I get to see my own name. It's like the quiz is talking to me. And also this helps with, like, there's another thing that we can utilize the personalization for of the quiz. It helps if we're doing this for, let's say, for children, or I wouldn't say for children, like we can say for students or somebody that I need to ensure that they're not cheating. So if they actually get to take a screenshot of that slide that I have right here, it would already have their name. So if the person responsible for that quiz gets to see that screenshot, he would know who's the person who's sharing the screenshots and spreading them with their colleagues and other trainees to help them to cheat on the quiz. Okay, so how we can gamify the quiz? So we have plenty of we have different types of questions. Some of them are basic, something that we're used to, like the multiple choice, the multiple response, the true or false. But we have other types of questions that are not that traditional in what we've seen. Something like the hotspot, the drag the word, the fill in the blanks, the drag and drop. So I have a great example for that we can see right now. So if we switch from the slide view to the form view, is just it's like the back end. It's where you're doing all your magic. It's just right here that you're typing down the questions and the answers right here. You specify the feedback that shows, and you can control the branching as well. So everything is just defined in the form view, and then the slide view, it just gives you an idea on how this would show for your learner or for the trainee. So the first question is just an MCQ question, but the second question is basically what we call a hotspot question. So a hotspot question would introduce, let's say, 3 pictures, and we're just asking our trainee or our learner to place a hotspot on the correct picture right here. So we see 3 dialogues, three dialogues that are happening right now, and we're just asking our learner to click on the dialogue that's actually making sense, or that has the correct answer. So this is what it looks like, and from a user perspective or from a learner perspective. And the learner simply has to click on the dialogue that has the correct answer. By clicking on submit, he gets to see the instant feedback. And we also have the option for something like the drag and drop, where the user simply has to I think I can try to zoom in. I think it's better to just get that out of the way. Okay, amazing. So the next thing that we can actually, the next part of the next interesting part of the questions would be something like the drag and drop. So I'm just gonna start this quiz again. I'm just gonna enter my name. The MCQ question also accepts, there's like more of a fill in the blanks here, where I can just enter my age. Click on submit. MCQ again. And the hotspot question. The next question is going to be the drag and drop. So we're just asking our learner or our trainee to specify what's considered to be a significant or an insignificant goal. So the learner here has to engage. He has to grab these cards and take them out and place them in the relevant position for them. So he's simply going to be dragging the purchase, the new factory equipment, and add that to significant, take this one and add this one to insignificant, and he's going to he's going to keep on doing that. And by the end of it, when he clicks on submit, he gets to see if that was a correct or an incorrect answer. And of course, for all of our courses, we have the option to show the passing grade, the exact score that our learner has managed to get, and he gets to see the detailed report in the way that we can see right now. Okay, amazing. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about here would be, we can talk about the interactions real quick. I think we have also an example of the interaction right here. So we also have 14 different types of interactions that we can use and add to our course. They're sometimes called visuals as well. So it can be called interaction or a visual. So this is an example of one of the interactions that we have. And of course, at any point with most of what we're using in iSpring Suite, we can just click on preview to get to see what we've just designed or what we've just created. So by just clicking on preview, I get to see that we have different pictures right now, and each click on that picture would reveal a piece of information that's supposed to be useful for my learner or for my trainee. So by clicking on the first picture, it says what new skills and advice does the mentee need. The mentee has to interact, he has to engage, he has to click on each one of these pictures in order to reveal the piece of information that's behind it. And as we mentioned, we have 14 types of interactions. So it's not just about this one. We can also add different types of interactions right away, like the steps, the timeline, the process, the cyclic, FAQs as well, and all these different types. And of course, whenever you start the trial for iSpring Suite, you'll be able to get some hands-on experience to get to try all of these things yourself. And I think that would be all about the gamification in iSpring Suite. The second part that we need to talk about would be how we can also integrate that and use the gamification in iSpring Learn LMS. So I'm just going to be switching to my browser. And I guess that's also visible, Aladdin, right? Just confirm that from your side, please.
Yep.
Okay, amazing, great. Okay, so from as we've discussed before, that when it comes to the gamification and iSpring Learn, we can give points when they complete courses or when they complete learning modules. We can give them badges. We can give them, of course, the badges, the points, the certifications. We can give them we can show them the leaderboard, and all of that simply is going to show right here. So you see that I have no points, no badges. I think we can switch to this account. It would have more details. And yes, you see that on this account, I as a learner, I have 23 points that are right here. I have one badge that I have received and one certificate as well. And by simply clicking on achievements, I get to see my leaderboard. Where do I actually rank among the other colleagues or other trainees or other learners that are taking the same courses and are with me on the same exact account. So I see that Nadia is number one. She has the highest points, and that's why she's ranking number one. I'm ranking number two. And there's also details for why each point has been awarded to me. So I see that I got this point on that date, and 10 points that was awarded for this specific reason. The badges as well. I see that I have the Lion King badge right here. And lastly, the certificates also, which is also really useful because many learners or many trainees would want to have these certificates. They can simply download them and publish them on LinkedIn, or publish or keep them and just add them to their CV and things like that. And yep, also we have the option to go to the My Learning History. And from My Learning History, the learner or the trainee simply gets to see all the courses that he was enrolled in, that he's currently enrolled in, what's in progress, what has he failed, the specific grade on each course, the duration, how long he spent on each course, and all of that. All of that. And let's go back to the user portal again. So yeah, that's basically all that we that's basically all about the gamification in iSpring Suite and in iSpring Learn. And again, there's definitely way more to it, but of course we're like we wouldn't have the time to discuss everything. But when you start your own trials, whether it's for iSpring Learn LMS or for iSpring Suite, you'd get to try everything with your own hands. And me or Aladdin, we're going to be getting in touch with you to help you out and offer guidance, and we can even offer you personalized demos to help you out with this. And let's jump to the Q&A. In case you have any questions, you can just write them down in the chat now, and me and Aladdin will be more than happy to answer you.
Marwan, thank you very much. That was awesome. There is a question in the chat regarding the avatars. So they're asking if they can use their own avatars in their courses.
Okay, so when it comes to the characters or the avatars, so let's not forget that we're still in PowerPoint. So yeah, iSpring is offering you ready-made characters and avatars that you can use, or you can customize your own, but you can still upload pictures from your own device if you like, because we're in PowerPoint. So you can just click on insert, add a picture, add a video, add anything that you like from your device. So that definitely is not a problem.
Awesome. There is still one question, Marwan, regarding voiceovers. They're asking if they can use voiceovers.
If they can use voiceovers. Okay, yeah, well, so basically when it comes to adding voices to your course and using iSpring Suite, you can simply record your own voice if you want. You can simply record your own voice and add that voice to the course, or you can simply use the AI text-to-speech.
Amazing. Okay, Marwan, I have a couple of questions for you. Meanwhile, they're writing their questions. So your personal favorite gamification functionality in iSpring Suite, what is it?
Basically, it would be combining everything in like I would say it would be the role plays or the interactions. I'm sorry, the role plays or the simulations, because you get to add you get to use the content library to add like real life characters. You also get to use the AI text to speech to make it more lively and engaging, and you also get to have the learner or the trainee to interact with that simulation or with that dialogue that you're having. So definitely my favorite would be the simulations or the role plays.